Hi everyone, welcome to our week 3 live chat. I wanted to go over a couple of things to help everyone work through this week. So a couple of reminders, I know you've heard these before. The zeros are always placeholders, so please check through your gradebook and see what you're missing, and you can submit any missing work for full credit. Look at my feedback, look at the rubric, and resubmit with those edits. Then you can send me a message or email and I can update your grade. In Telepath, make sure that you keep going back to IntelliPath because you're able to continue working on that through Unit 5. If you need any help, you have been great with it so far, reach out via messenger or email. So a couple of things too about generative AI and plagiarism, making sure that we're building our own voices and really avoiding using AI language. So if we have a program that rewrites our word in a more professional or academic tone, we really want to try and avoid that. We want to make sure that your ideas are coming across as legitimate, as human, and as truthful. And you really want to think about being ethical as a writer. So making sure that, you're avoiding using AI to write your work and really using your own ideas. And remember that I'm always here to help. We have our writing support center, we have our library, we have a lot of help here if you need it. So just making sure that that's what we're working on and making sure all of our ideas are clear and our ideas are original, because your ideas are really what are supposed to kind of go through and show and shine in this. So our to-do list for this week, we have a discussion board, so a regular discussion board, and then we have our Unit 3 individual discussion board where you're going to add your individual project. So there's no IntelliPath this week or next week, so you have all that time to work on your projects. So for the first discussion board, what you're going to be working on is you're going to be finding your source. So you're going to find just one source, and that's going to help you convince someone to take up your hobby or your interest. So your initial post is always due by Thursday, 2 responses by Saturday. So when you evaluate your sources, I want you to look at the author, their credentials, the date, if it's published within the last 5 years, that URL, is it a .org, is it a .com, is it a .gov, looking at the type of source, the design of that particular web page, and then if the information presented looks legitimate, and also check for misspellings, because we want to make sure that we have credible sources to really support our ideas and convince someone to start our hobby. So there's a couple different ways that you can look for your information. You can use the library, and the library research is going to be perfect, because not only are you going to be able to find credible sources, but you'll also be able to find recent sources, and our librarians are here to help. So remember, if you do feel stuck with research, reach out to me or reach out to librarians, either or works, and we can kind of help get you started there. So you can also use Google or Google Scholar. If you are using Google, just make sure that you're really evaluating these sources as much as possible to make sure they're credible. You want to use a couple of different keywords so you can get started with your searches in the library or Google. So you can say, benefits of traveling or reasons for traveling. This will help you really get started with finding exactly what you need and finding evidence and support for that interest or hobby you're convincing someone to start. So for this discussion board, you have 2 different options for your initial post. The first option is if you have found a source already, this is what you'll respond to. So you'll talk about, do you think your source is credible? Why or why not? So you can list some of those things, the author, the date, credentials, and you want to also think about what would make it a more credible source and why it would make a difference. So thinking about if it was published in, 2000, you might want to have a more updated source, and it would make a difference because it's more recent. The second option for the initial post, if you have not found a source yet, respond to the following. Do you need help from the library team? And what specifically do you need help with? Make sure you let us know what your topic or your hobby is so we can help you a little bit more with that research overall. You'll also start to describe what a credible source might be. So you can talk about the date, you can talk about the authors, the publisher, and everything specific to your hobby overall. So in the second discussion that you'll have to do, this is their individual project discussion board. So you'll see Unit 3 individual discussion board. So it's going to be adding your project. For this one, there are no responses needed to your classmates. All you're doing is adding your project. You can copy and paste it to this discussion board, or you can use the little paperclip icon and you can attach your document to the discussion board, either or. And this isn't due until Sunday. So any questions as you work through all of this, please let me know. I've sent everyone an email about this. I've also sent out a couple of resources via Messenger. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to respond and I'm happy to help.